Hi everyone, welcome back to Java class. In today's session, you will learn how to create a menu-driven application in order to perform different operations on MySQL data table using prepared statement interface in Java programming language. So let us understand and explore what is the output of this program first. So here you can see you have different options in order to perform different operations. For example, you would like to create some record inside a user table. You will enter your choice is 1. It will ask you to enter your name and you will enter your email also, and you will click on enter button. It will show a message 1 row inserted. You can choose any operations. For example, you would like to see the data or record has been inserted or not. You can select choice number 2, and you can see here it is showing ID is 1, username is Amit, and email is this one. So ID inside a MySQL data table will be created automatically. Next, you can select the different operation, like in order to update some data, you can select choice number 3, and here you can see it will ask you to enter the ID, means on which ID you would like to update your data. So for example, you will enter ID is 1. So here you can see it is asking to update the email, right? You can update the name also. That is depends upon your programming way. How are you designing the program? So simple, you can change like amit123@gmail.com. So here you can see the previous email is amit@gmail.com, and your new email is amit123@gmail.com. You will press enter, and here it will show 1 row updated. In order to see your data is updated or not, you can enter your choice is 2, and here you can see the data is updated or not. So you can see corresponding ID 1, your email is updated. If you would like to delete some data, you can enter your choice is 4. It will ask ID to delete some data. For example, you will enter 1 and you will press enter. It will display 1 row deleted, or in order to see your details has been deleted or not, you can enter your choice is 2. In order to read the data from data table, you will press enter, and you can see it is not displaying any output, right? So these are the different operations like create, read, update, delete, and exit. Or if you would like to exit the application, simply you will type 5 and your application will be exit. So guys, in today's session you will learn how to create this or such kind of applications in Java programming language. So let us understand how to do it. Okay, so in order to perform different operations using a menu-driven application, we have created a class CRUD operations. Or here you can see we have done some initial setup in order to save time. So we have created a string URL, that is your URL. Inside it, we will create a database, that is user database. Or inside the main function, we have created an object of scanner because we will take input from the user. Or we are using a try with resource concept where we are initializing a connection using a driver manager dot get connection. Inside it you are passing the URL, and this root is the username of your MySQL workbench, and this root is the password of your MySQL workbench. So here we have added a menu driven applications. So we have added a loop. This loop will continue work until you will not exit the application. So here these are the different operations like create, read, update, delete, and exit. Or we are asking a choice from the user, right? We are asking to enter a choice from the user. So inside a switch, we are passing the choice of a user, and we are creating different cases. Case number 1, that will help us to create some record inside a data table. So we will create a function that is a create. Inside it we are passing the connection object and the scanner class object. So a scanner class object will help us to take input from the user, and connection, this con object, will help us to create a connection in order to execute the query. So in the similar way we have added the multiple case, and in order to exit the application, simply it will display message exiting and you will return. So this is about the main switch block. Now let us learn how to create a user in order to insert some data inside a data table. Okay, so let us write the code of a create function. Inside it we are taking two parameter as input, that is a connection interface or the scanner class, right? So we are asking from the user to enter the username and the password, or in the similar way you will enter the email also. So I will enter the system.out.println enter email, right? So here you will enter the email. Clear? So here the variable will be changed here. The string email is equal scanner.next line. So in order to insert some records, you will enter the username and email from the user. After this, you will create a query. So how will you create a query? So I will write here the query is equal. So what is the query? To insert data inside our data table. So I will write the insert query here, right? Insert into your table name will be the user, right? So users, right? So let me help you to understand how to create a database first. Okay, so let us move to the MySQL workbench and we will create a database and a user table. So you will move to your MySQL workbench. So here you can see, in order to create a database, you will use this command. This is to active your database, and this is the way how will you create a user table. So I will select all these three queries and I will execute it in order to set up the database schema. You will refresh it, and here you can see we have a user database, or inside it we have a table users. So right now you will select this table, or inside this table we don't have any data. So you will set up this schema in order to execute these queries. So you will execute these queries and your schema, your database will be set up. Let us move back to your Eclipse IDE, right? So here, to insert data inside a user table, you will use insert into command, insert into users, then you will write the name of your columns. So your column names are what? Username and email, right? So you will see inside your MySQL database, your column names are username and email, and your ID will be generated automatically, right? So no need to insert the ID inside your database. Go to the Eclipse part, or inside it here you will simply write the user name, then you will write the next column name is the email, right? So you will write your values. This is your queries, or I don't know the what the user will enter the values, so you will write the question mark inside it, right? So this is a query to insert some data inside a data table. So we are using insert into user, username, email. These are the name of column. So these column name must be matched with this data table, right? You can see this is username and email. This must be matched properly, right? Otherwise you may get some error. So here we are inserting some values, but values I don't know about it. What will be the values will be inserted in the data table? These values will come from the user. So because I don't know which kind of value we are trying to insert into a data table, so I will write a question mark inside it. So then after this you will create a try with resource block, or inside it we will create an object of a prepared statement. So I will create an object of prepared statement. The object name is pstmt is equal, simply you will use the connection object con dot prepare statement, right? Or here you will pass your query. So in today's session we are exploring the prepared statement interface. So what is it? You can see the prepared statement object, an object that represents a pre-compiled SQL query. So prepared statement interface is used to execute pre-compiled SQL statements, or a SQL statement is pre-compiled and stored in prepared statement object. This object can then be used to efficiently execute this statement multiple times. So I will tell you in detail what is the prepared statement interface. So here you will create an object of prepared statement psmt is equal con, this connection is coming from this create function dot prepare statement, or inside it you will pass your query, right? So now in order to insert some data, right, in order to insert some data, so simply how will you will use the prepared statement object pstmt dot set string, right? Or here you will pass the index parameter. Your parameter index is the one, and which value you would like to insert it. I would like to insert the username. So guys, you can see we are inserting the data, and the data will come from the user. I don't know which type of data or which value the user will enter, right? So in order to execute that kind of statement, you will use the prepared statement interface, or you will execute your query. Then we have a method, right? Means which type of value you would like to set. So username is a type of string, right? So you will use a pstmt.setString, or inside it you will pass in which column you would like to insert the name, the username. So here it takes two parameters. The first is the column index, means the first column is the username, or here this is the value you would like to insert. In the similar way, you will write the psmt.setString, right? And the column name is the second, and the next is the email you would like to insert it, right? So after that, what will you do? You will use the object of pstmt dot execute update method. You will use, right? You will use the execute update method. So what it does, you can see it executes the SQL statement in the prepared statement object, which must be an SQL data manipulation language. So if you are performing insert, update, or delete, you will use the execute update method, or it will return into an object of integer, means it will return an integer value. So here you will write a simple object row inserted is equal pstmt.execute update. So if your row, your data has been inserted, your row has been updated, it will return a non-zero value, otherwise it will return a zero value. So I can add a simple condition if row inserted is greater than, right? Or simply you can display a message if row inserted is greater than 0. So you can simply display a message here, the system dot out, that is simply you can write row inserted, or you can call this row inserted, right, plus, or here you can write ROWS, right, rows updated. Have not updated, inserted I will write, right? So guys, this is a way how will you insert some data inside a data table, right? Clear? So this function is completed. Let us run this program and you will see what is the output of it, right? Let us run this program and see what is the output of it. So this is a function create, which is used to insert some record inside a data table, or we are calling this function from here, right, from the main function. Clear? So let us run this and let's see what is the output of it. Run the application. It is asking choose an operation, that is create. So I will select the one. You will enter username. It will enter, you can enter your name Amit, you can enter your email amit123 or amit@gmail.com, right? So it will show one row updated. Choose an operation, right? So which operation? So we have not written the code to read, update, or delete, or exit, right? So you can see this data is inserted inside database or not. You can move to MySQL database. You can just go to this user or you can refresh it, you can see your data is inserted and your ID is generated automatically. One username is Amit and email is, this is amit@gmail.com. So guys, this is a way how can you add a insert function. So let me just terminate this program. Let us complete the rest code in order to read the data. So how will you read the data? So I have created a function. This is the next function is reading the user data, right? So how will you read the user data? So in order to read the user data, simply you will use a query string SQL is equal, you will use select star from users, right? So this is a query in order to read the data from a users table. So now you will use a try with resource concept, or inside it you will create the object of prepared statement, right? So you will create an object of prepared statement, PSTMT is equal, the connection object is con dot prepare statement, or inside it you will pass your query, right? So using this object PSTMT dot, you can execute your query. So how will you use the method execute query method, or inside it you can pass your query, that is okay. So if you are, just wait a moment. Okay, so if you are calling a function execute query method with the help of PSTMT, that is prepared statement object, so here no need to pass your query, we have already passed the query inside a method prepare statement, right? So it will return into the object of result set. Result set is equal PSTMT dot execute query. Then after this, what will you do, right? You will close this try and here we go, right? Now inside it you can just use a while loop, not this one, right? So you can use while loop with a condition, that is a result set dot next method you will use in order to iterate over a complete records. So simply you will complete the code. So simply you will write int id. Okay, so I have completed the code. You can get the first column value using a get int method, then next get a string, the next value is get a string, and you can store in different variable, or you can display using system.out.println statements, an id, username, then different values you can display. Let me run it again and you will see what is the output of it. So let us run it and you will see what is the output of it. So here you can see how it is working. So in order to read the data, you can select your choice is 2 and you will press enter. You can see it is showing your ID is 1, username is Amit, email is this one. If you would like to insert more data inside it, you can change your choice from 2 to 1. You can enter your choice as 1 to create some record inside database. It is again asking enter username. You can enter your username like Himani, or the email is himani@gmail.com, and you can see what is the output of it. It is showing one row inserted. Choose an operation. So you can select the operation 2, right? In order to read the data, you can enter 2 and you will see the data is inserted or not. It is showing the complete records, right? This is ID 1 and this is ID 2. So guys, I hope you understand and you are doing with me also how to perform insert operation and how to perform the read operations. So before going further how to perform the update operation, let me help you to understand what is a prepared statement interface and how it will work, right? So let us move to the concept part. Okay, so you can see what is a prepared statement interface. So prepared statement interface is used to execute dynamic or parameterized SQL queries. So in our program, you can see here we are executing dynamic queries. Here you can see this query is dynamic because we don't know what the user will enter, what kind of data user will enter. That will be decided later, right? So here you can see the prepared statement interface also extends the statement interface, but using this interface you can pass the parameters to the SQL query at runtime. So if you will see here inside your Eclipse program, we are reading the data and we are using the prepared statement interface. So inside it we are passing the queries while creating the statement, right? So we can pass queries in the prepare statement method. So we can pass the parameters to the SQL queries at runtime. So it is recommended to use prepared statement if executing a particular SQL queries multiple times. So multiple times you can execute the same queries, or here you can see in the Eclipse IDE. In order to create the records, we are, multiple times we are selecting our choice one, and we can, insert the data from the user multiple times. The same query will be executed multiple times, but that can be done with the help of the prepared statement, because this interface will help us to execute the dynamic queries at runtime, right? So you can see I have added some important note. You can just go through it. So what are the different methods of prepare statement? So we have the methods like execute query, right? We have method execute update in order to perform some insert, update or delete operations. We have execute method also. The same methods are present inside statement interface or prepared statement interface. We have methods like set int method. So we have used this method that sets the designated parameters to the given Java int values. And how to use it? This is the way. Means in the first column we are setting the ID is 1. In the second column we are setting the name is this one. In the similar way, we have different methods: set int, set string, or you can use set long, set double, set date, right? You can use multiple methods with the help of set prefix. So clear parameters, if you would like to add multiple data inside it, you can use the clear parameter function, right? Clear parameter function you can use. Okay. So here I have added the multiple methods. You can explore the concept how to use the prepared statement, or this lesson you will find inside a chapter number 19 and lesson number last, exploring prepared statement interface and its method in Java programming language. So let us move to the Eclipse IDE and understand and complete the rest code, that is how to update the data or how to delete the data. Okay. Okay, so in order to save our time, I have updated the code for update function here, right? So how will you update it? Simple, you will ask from the user from which ID or corresponding to which ID you would like to update the data. So we are asking the ID from the user. So you will enter the ID and you can update the email, or you can update the name also, right? So you can add one more statement inside it. You can update the name also. So how to update your query? So here you can see this query will update the data on runtime. So how to use this query? Update user set email means we are trying to change the email of a person where ID will be equal question mark, and email is the question mark also. So I don't know about means corresponding to which ID you would like to update the data. So that's why I have written the question mark, because this input will come on the runtime, right? And in a similar way you can update the email also. So again you will use the prepared statement interface object, or you will prepare your query. So in order to update the email corresponding to a particular ID, so I would like to just update the email corresponding to an ID. So please remember this part. Sometimes many students do the mistakes while writing these kind of statements. So if you are just updating the email corresponding to the ID, so your last input is the ID, right? So that must be after it, that must be at the end. So you have to write so you have to write pstmt.set string one, the column number is email, and your next input is the ID, right? So that will come at the end, means that is based on the last input. So this will come at the end. Then you will call the execute update method in order to update your records, and it will show a message row updated. In the similar way, in order to save time, I have added a function for the delete user. So here it will ask corresponding to which user ID you would like to delete the data, or simply you will use a query. Simple query is delete from user where ID is equal question mark. So ID will come at the runtime. So you will create an object of prepared statement and you will prepare your query. Here you can set corresponding to which ID you would like to update the data. So here you will call again execute update method and it will display how many rows are affected. So this is, or these are the codes. Program is completed. This is delete user code. This is the update user code. This is the read user code, and this is the create user code. Like you can see the complete program. Here we have added a switch, right? We have added a switch. Then we are taking the inputs. This is a while loop, and this is the way, right? So let us run this program and let's see what is the output again. So run this program again. You will see how it will work and what is the output of this program. So I will run from the scratch. If you will enter again, your choice is 1. In order to insert some record, you will see what is the output of it. You can write the name is James, ID is James at the rate 123 at the rate gmail.com. So you can see it is showing one row updated. In order to read the data, you will enter your choices 2. It is showing the complete records which are stored inside your database. If you would like to update some data, you will click on a choices 3, right? So it is asking the user ID, that is you can enter your user ID is 3. You will enter your, it is asking enter your email. So James email is this one. I will update this email like james123 at the rate gmail.com and press enter. You can see one row updated. In order to see your data is updated or not, again you can click on, you can enter your choices 2. You can see your email of James is updated. Next you will see how to delete. You can select your choices 4, and here you can see enter user ID to delete. For example, I will enter user ID is 3. Press enter. It is showing one row deleted. Let's check. By reading the operation, you can select your choice, enter your choices 2. It is showing only the 2 records inside your database. And at the final end, you can enter your choices 5. You will exit, and it is showing a exiting message. Inside your database, you can see we have only 2 records. So guys, I hope you understand the concept of it, how to create a menu driven application in order to perform different operations on MySQL data table using prepared statement interface. So guys, thanks for watching. Have a great day. In the next session, I will come up with how to perform these operations using graphical user interface using prepared statement interface. Bye bye for now. Have a happy learning. Good night.